7 years after defeating Cell and becoming the undisputed champion, Gohan is waiting anxiously for his first title defense. Him, Goku, and Vegeta are in Babidi's spaceship with the Supreme Kai, and right now they're waiting for a mystery opponent that Gohan insists on fighting one-on-one. He just witnessed the two Saiyans mop the floor with their own competition, and he's just itching for his own chance. But no, he totally hates fighting, right guys? Anyways, Goku is hyped to see how far his son has progressed. I mean, he was only a child when he beat Cell, so surely he's made some serious improvements.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite as strong as I was then.
Vegeta clowning him, rightfully so, for not keeping up with his training at all. But we're about to really see if he still got it, cause his mystery opponent isn't some tomato can. He's actually Babidi's most powerful soldier, the Demon King Dabura. He's been locked in, meditating, focusing his ki to prepare for the battle. Look at the aura! The two fighters face off, ready to start, and like usual, we're gonna break this fight down and score it with the 10-point must system. This fight is scheduled for 3 rounds. Yes, I know for a title fight it should technically be 5, but this one was just a little too short for that. At the end of each round, the winner gets 10 points, and the loser gets 9 points or less depending on how badly they lost. If it goes all 3, the scores get tallied, and the fighter with more points wins. But the fight can end in any round via stoppage. Okay, let's get right into it. Sound the bell. Round 1. Let's go. Gohan's gonna open up the round by closing the distance and coming in with the left. Dabura looking like he's gearing up to block, but then he gives him a different look here like he's about to counter. We don't see what was actually thrown or even if it landed. We just see a heavy impact that destroys this mountain, immediately followed by this ki attack right next to it that we can assume is Dabura's because we hear him screaming while this is happening, and it looks like a flame maneuver, which is part of his arsenal. I'm guessing he blocked the shot, took an angle to disengage, and tried to counter with the flamethrower. It doesn't land though, because Gohan comes out of the debris and tries to rush him again. This time almost gets cut by this ki attack on the way in. 2 more slashes here that narrowly get dodged. He's not trying to come in guns blazing again, because this guy's dangerous, so he's going to try an unorthodox approach. Gohan dives down to the bottom of the lake and fires off a ki blast at his opponent, who thinks nothing of the blast. But while he's focused trying to block, Gohan catches him off guard by appearing right next to him, coming in for an attack. It was just a setup. You can tell Dabura is genuinely caught off guard because he freezes up here and brings the arm up to block the punch and the ki blast instead of just pulling away. That's that panic. Look at this, Gohan breaks the guard with the kick but almost gets caught by his own attack. He should have taken his foot off the gas a little bit and let that ki blast hit first before fully committing to the kick. His timing is off. Sloppy start here, that's that ring rust. Dabura is perfectly fine and lifts up the debris with telekinesis before firing it off at Gohan, who panic blocks and gets his guard broken too. Huge connection. Hey, Goku was handling a crispier version of this attack no problem, way back in Namek when he faced off against Frieza, I'm just saying. Dabura's walking him down just smug. He thinks it's over, but Gohan shocks him by transforming into a Super Saiyan. Look how cold he is here, he's definitely trying to relive those glory days right now with the aura farming. He's just staring daggers at him before disappearing and body shot, headshot combo lands flush, but he's not satisfied, pulls up behind him and lands a spinning kick to the trap area that drops his opponent. Gohan looking down at the debris, fires off a ki blast to seal the deal. But the blast didn't land because Dabura sneaks up behind him with the right hand, grab. Look at him, I'm telling you, he still thinks it's the Cell games. Take that overhand. Body shot. Knee to the face lands flush, and look at Dabura staying defensively responsible, blocks the retaliation. They're dropping down and we see 2 impacts. Pretty sure neither guy lands here. Gohan's gonna kick it up a notch and power up again. Now, did he turn Super Saiyan 2 here? I know it's a pretty highly debated topic because we never saw the classic lightning aura, but I'm gonna say he definitely did. There's people who made whole videos on this topic if you're interested, but I think it's pretty common sense that he did. Just watch the fight and use context clues. Anyways, with that, round 1 comes to a close. And look, I'm gonna score this round a 10-10 draw. First time I ever gave a round a draw on the channel, and for good reason too. You know I try to base these videos off real life combat sports matches as much as I can, especially MMA scoring, and if you know, you know. While judges can score a round as a draw, it's just so uncommon. They always try to find a difference even if the round looks even. So if you're wondering why I don't give draws more often on the channel, I'm just trying to stay true to the format. That being said, look at these stats, just look. Dead even. Gohan landed 1 more strike, but Dabura landed a ki attack. And both were partially blocked too but broke the guard. I mean, even looking stats don't always mean that the round was actually even. You have to interpret the flow of the fight, but even when I do that, it just seems like a robbery to give either guy the round. Bro, I broke it down like 3 times, okay? Made a case for the bird the first time, Gohan the second time, and I just couldn't decide the third time. If that ain't a draw, I don't know what is. It was just that razor close for me. What do you think? But anyways, we're just getting started. Let's take a look at round 2. Dabura opens up the second round, powering up to match Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 from the end of round 1. Now both guys are at 100. He lunges in, but Gohan meets him halfway with the left hand. Block. Clash of elbows here, stalemate. Dabura cuts an angle behind him, trying to hit him with a downward elbow, but he gets met with the right hand. Another stalemate. Whoop! Dodges the kick. Now we get 1, 2, 3, 4 even exchanges here before Gohan lands a massive head kick to his opponent. Dabura falling down, but he immediately bounces off the ground to get his footing. By the time he recomposes, he gets met with a body kick. Gohan trying to keep the pressure, fighting so much more aggressive and direct than he did against Cell, where he was more of a counterpuncher. If we're talking about countering, it's Dabura who's a lot more threatening off the back foot this match because of his unique skill set. Look, he tries to hit him with that flamethrower again. Gohan dodges once, dodges again, tries to cut an angle on him, dodges a third time, and too relentless with his approach, doesn't notice the after image. Dabura set him up for this ki blast that he barely got the guard up in time for, and it sends him flying, skidding off the ground, through a mountain, and into the bottom of a lake. Best connection of the fight so far, and in my opinion, the first true knockdown so far, by DBZ standards at least. Money. Goku looking so disappointed here. Gohan's like, wait dad, I'm gonna make you proud, I promise. He knows Dabura is out there waiting for him, so he doesn't want to leave the water without a diversion. He's gonna try and do something similar to what Goku did against Frieza. Actually a legendary setup where Goku fired off the 2 Kamehameha torpedoes at Frieza to not only escape being pinned underwater, but to land a nasty kick that won him the round. That was so clean. Hey, like father, like son, let's see Gohan's addition to that setup. He's so talented, he should be able to nail this no problem. Come on, let's go. Okay, what went wrong? So first of all, like some of you mentioned in the Frieza video, Dabura can sense ki, so it's probably just going to be harder to hit this against him. Personally, I don't know about that, because Frieza's got such stupidly dialed in timing that I think he makes up for it, but whatever, I digress. Second of all, he didn't have the element of surprise here because he already did something similar in round 1. That's not even it though, look how he fires these off before he's even ready to leave the water. When Goku set it up, he gets in position and has a specific purpose for both of those ki blasts before they ever leave the water. Just elite playmaking and timing, bro. Meanwhile, Gohan's timing was so off, like dude, it's over. The moment passed and you've been missed your opportunity. Not gonna lie, this makes him look like a fraud. Gohan barely blocked in time, but he definitely still felt that one. This corner was looking pretty concerned. Goku staying hopefully optimistic about the match, but Vegeta's starting to get pissed off at his performance, which I just love them as his cornermen in this fight. Just two absolute legends of the game doing like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. They both come in and we get some high speed action here. Heavy impact. Somebody's getting pushed back and we see a big impact on this rock. Now it looks like Gohan throws the left, probably got blocked. He throws a high kick that definitely gets blocked. Dabura with his own unsuccessful shot. By the way, in the comments, what was wrong with these 3 frames? Gohan loading up a massive left hand, but Dabura with his own as he's turning around and they trade shots. Now they trade the right hands. Goku's getting mad at how direct Gohan is fighting. No good setups, no angles, no patience. Just looking like a shell of himself. And Vegeta's like, I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you don't train for 7 years. Kid's a bum, Kakarot. The 2 fighters reset and Dabura's gonna start taunting him to come in by turning his back to him. And Gohan coming in recklessly. Just zero fight IQ. Dabura turns around and spits at him, which if you remember is how he turned Piccolo and Krillin to stone, and the main thing that just makes him dangerous. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like the threat of a powerful grappler in MMA. They're gonna have more success in the stand-up than they would have because their opponent has the takedown threat in the back of their mind. I bet you it's the same thing for Dabura's here. Gohan's gonna have that influencing the way he fights moving forward. And I'm surprised it hasn't already because the Supreme Kai has to remind him not to let it hit him. Definitely got bailed out there. Kakarot, he's... I know. They're back in close range. Gohan blocks the left, tries to throw his own back, block, duck. Dabura blocks the head kick and counters with a chopping right hand to the jaw. The 2 fighters disengage as round 2 comes to a close. Another competitive round, but this one I'm confidently scoring a 10-9 for Dabura. Let's take a look at the stats here. It's funny, we kind of get the same thing from round 1 again. The numbers on paper with 0 contacts look dead even. Gohan leading with a strike, but Dabura leading with a ki blast. Thankfully, this one was way more clear with the actual flow of the fight. Dabura controlled the round for longer, he looked sharper, and had way more threatening moments. Dealt more damage too. That ki blast he landed was the best shot from either guy so far, no question. There was also the ki blast that Gohan blocked when he was coming out of the water. Didn't make it on the stat sheet, but he definitely felt it. Dabura's up by a point, but there's only one round left, so Gohan needs this one badly. Let's take a look at the third and final round. Round 3 starts with Dabura telling Gohan he feels his energy dropping. He's super confident from the way the fight was heading the last round, which Gohan's corner was really disappointed in him for. Goku's like, wow, he fell off big time. Vegeta's like, put me in there with them. I can take that bum in one round. Look, you heard him talking, he's turning around. But Gohan's gonna capitalize on his opponent getting distracted here by landing a massive right hand. While he's falling back, Dabura creates a sword with his ki. I'm not gonna lie, he's got a pretty deep bag. He bounces back trying to cut Gohan's head off, but he barely dodges in the nick of time. They circle around, Dabura coming in hot now. Gohan's gonna have to show us some of that back foot game he fell in love with before the Cell fight. Dodge. Backflip to escape the follow-up. I barely caught this one, but the next frame we see of them, it looks like Gohan landed a nice knee up top. And staying defensively responsible here. Pull back. Dodges again and tries to take the angle behind him, but gets forced into defense again. Whoop! Gohan's got the timing a little more dialed in, so this time he ducks a lot tighter. He knows he's gonna have to keep firing back, or else he's just gonna get overwhelmed. He blocks this one by kicking the blade, which opens him up to land another knee to the jaw. I'd say grab the sword here, but maybe he doesn't want to get spat on.
What?
Which I wonder if Dabura has to charge up his spit.
What?
Or if any kind of saliva would turn his opponent to stone. I don't know. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Gohan's pressed up against the wall, feeling the heat. Barely slips these two strikes. Again, he's only getting less comfortable. Another close call here, Dabura trying to finish him off, but Gohan grabs the blade. Both of them are struggling, especially the young Saiyan, but he musters up enough power to snap the blade in two. The fighters pull back and reset again. Dabura looks irritated, like the fight is a lot more difficult than he thought it'd be, but he's not really tired and he hasn't lost his confidence. Gohan looks a little bit winded here though, that pressure was definitely tiring him out. The round is closing off as Dabura makes a key discovery about one of the Z fighters who's absolutely crashing out right now. Which was actually a 3D chess move from Vegeta here, so you can get the Majin symbol, but that's not the topic of the video. Babidi transports everybody back to the ship as round 3 comes to a close. Okay guys, I'm gonna score the last round a 10-9 for Gohan. The fight ends with the score being 29-29, a draw. The first time I've ever scored a fight a draw on the channel, by the way. Here are the stats for the round, and you can see, Gohan clearly took it. Dabura never landed a shot, and he got caught with a couple of good ones in return. That's not to say it was a great round for Gohan, by the way. He was being pressured the whole time and never really in control. He was also fading a little bit at the end of the round, so it wasn't a good look for him whatsoever. Man, I really wanted to use this video to give a definitive win for someone in this fight, but how? That first round felt wrong going 10-9 either way, and rounds 2 and 3 were also clear wins for Dabura and Gohan apiece. It was truly a draw. Let me ask you though, who do you think would have won a 5-rounder? Cause my money's on Dabura, unless Gohan can get some kind of crazy power up, which I think we can almost rule out cause of Dabura's style. He goes for the jugular, so if Gohan's getting caught flush, he's likely on his way to being killed, not motivated for a power up. So on paper, it's a draw. But this is like one of those real life situations where the cards went one way, but the public perception went the other way. In real life terms, it's like if Gohan retained this belt, but everybody and their grandma knows Dabura gave him that work. But that didn't even come close to the verbal beating Vegeta gave him after the fight. Like, he really put into perspective how disgraceful that performance from him was. And I don't know how some of you guys excuse Gohan's behavior the last 7 years. Like, oh, he deserved to take 7 years off. He's been fighting since he was a child. Yeah, like every other Saiyan ever, right? No, but look, I totally understand. There's different levels of commitment to the game. I'm not expecting him to dedicate his entire life like these two absolute legends. You want to live a balanced life, you want to do the school thing, so be it. But you couldn't at least train an hour a day, a few days a week, just to stay in shape? I mean, you know the kind of dangers this universe is capable of. Your father dies and passes you the torch, and you didn't even try to honor that legacy? Soft. Lazy. And I'm not trying to hear PTSD in the comments because you must not be watching the same show as me. Where's the PTSD? I saw a kid who was hyped to start training again, who was embarrassed and ashamed that he turned into a grass-fed lion when the real one showed up again. That's why I love this part of the story. The early Buu saga was so real. I'm not even mad that Toriyama made Gohan soft like this, because it made for such a good cautionary tale about being the best too young, which if you think about it was exactly what Master Roshi was trying to avoid with his pupils and why he could not have them be number 1 too young, bro. Stop it. You know I'm cooking. And then the comeback, the redemption. And even when he's dialed in again, Gohan still fumbles. I like that too. You don't get to take 7 years off and have one little, it wasn't even a training camp, but a potential unlock ceremony and get the big win. No, it doesn't work that way, kid. The final victory went to the ones who never stopped. And then Super comes along and they make him, bro, they make him. And some of you have the nerve to try to make an argument for this Gohan. Where's the fighting spirit?
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no mindset.
Sorry for the rant, and thank you guys who stuck around till the end. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you think about the fight and what you want to see next. Oh, and subscribe, of course. We're almost at 90,000. I appreciate you so much, and I'm out of here.